Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. We're going to talk about the criminal acts these migrants are doing. And they said the crime is becoming more and more violent, which I'm not surprised. Actually, I was anticipating them to start breaking out with these harsh crimes. And one thing I don't like in the articles, they don't specify who they're doing these crimes against. They will just say the crime happened. I don't know if it's one of their own or it's an American. They are really vague about it, which leads me to believe it's probably Americans. Joe Biden is trying his best to make everybody believe that most of these migrants aren't doing this and aren't doing that. But I think a lot of people are not buying it. You know, he's saying whatever he have to say to justify them being here. And the only reason why they're here, and they don't even realize how used they're being at this time. The only reason why they're here is because of the poor birth rate. If it was not for that, they would never ever be in this country. That's what they don't understand. It is the crappy birth rate. And I'm surprised they finally got around to admitting that. And that's what it's been for these last several years. All these people coming in based on the birth rate, which is terrible. In America is at a 1.62, which is well below the replacement rate. Somebody tried to give me another number, a number I have never seen before, and I really think they were just making the number up. But if you fall below a 2.1, that is below the replacement rate. And America is well below. They can't do it anymore. So, yeah, you're bringing these people in, but at what risk? We already know they're committing robberies, breaking into people's homes, stealing and pickpocketing people on the streets. And you already seen there's been several incidents of them fighting cops. It's amazing. Anybody can fight a cop except for black people. Black people, we're the only ones that can't fight a cop. Every other group, if they take a swipe at a cop, they survive. If we even look funny at a cop, they try to kill you. So it's amazing. So I guess these migrants, they don't fear for their lives. Even when they're down on the ground getting kicked in the head, they don't fear for their lives. They only fear for their lives when they're dealing with black folk. I never hear them say these words when it comes down to any other group. So let's get into it, y'all. This story is coming out of Florida. USC uptick in migrants committing serious crimes. This is according to the authorities. So, an uptick of migrants committing serious crimes is shining a light on the nation's border policies. The Florida law enforcement authorities have reported an increase in violent crimes being committed by migrants in the U.S. illegally. In the past month, 3 suspects have been arrested in connection to violent crimes in the Sunshine State. All right. So the first guy that you see, he is Herbert Amador Guerrera. So he is charged with doing things to minors, domestic battery with strangulation, aggravated battery on a pregnant teen. All right. So he's out of Honduras. They claim he's 26 years old. I'm willing to bet every dime in my wallet this ain't even his real name. I believe when they get arrested, they don't give real names and they know they can get away with it easy because they're undocumented, which means they have no ID, they have nothing. So they can virtually give any name they feel like giving. So the authorities reveal Guerrero was ordered out of the U.S. on May 30th, 2017, but was never officially deported. Okay, well, if you ordered him out of the country, why didn't you see to it that he left? So it sounds like somebody didn't do their job on the U.S. end of things. Somebody is failing to do their job. All right, so y'all, he's being held at the Palm Beach County Jail on the charges that I told you about. So the woman, yes, that's a woman. Her name is Josephina Cardona. Yes, Cardona. Like I said, I don't believe these are real names. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office said they arrested 43-year-old Josefina Cardona of Guatemala earlier this month for allegedly trying to hire a hitman to kill two witnesses in her teenage son's criminal case. So the mother's a criminal and her son's a criminal. And this is what they have in this country, and giving them money and all kinds of perks. You want to know where your reparations is going to? These folks. They're getting monthly payments and everything and places to stay. Yeah, this is where your reparations is going. Authorities said she is also in the US illegally and may be deported after her case is tried. Cardona is also being held at Palm Beach County Jail, but on charges of premeditated first degree murder and criminal solicitation capital felony. Now, the last one that got the scarred up face, his name is Marvin Perez Lopez. He's 20 years old, out of Guatemala. He was arrested earlier this month, less than 6 months after he crossed the border into the U.S. illegally. Authorities said Lopez crossed the border in January and was released by federal officials with a future court date in 2027. That's when he made his way to Florida. He was then arrested on May 4th for allegedly kidnapping and assaulting a child. Wow. Lopez is being held at the Palm Beach County Jail without bond on charges of kidnapping a minor under the age of 13 and assault. The crisis on the border, Florida based immigration lawyer Ronaldo Vasquez, he said that the state is receiving thousands of illegal immigrants who aren't being properly vetted. Well, we've been saying that on this channel forever now. Haven't been properly vetted before being released into the US, but who also don't have court dates for years. Yeah. I mean, how many Americans can go out and commit a crime and they give you a court date in 2027? Oh, please. And now the courts are congested until 2027, 2028, some even further. That's a major problem we are seeing. Our system itself is collapsing. It has too many cases, Vasquez said. I think any country is equipped to take this many immigrants in over such a short period of time. Yeah, there is no country that could do it. And they wouldn't be crazy enough to let all these people in unvetted. Vasquez said these criminal cases underscore a much larger problem happening at the border. This week, House lawmakers will meet on Capitol Hill to discuss two bills to improve the border crisis. One would require migrants in the U.S. illegally who are arrested for assaulting law enforcement officers to be detained by ICE for possible deportation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those migrants that left New York and fled, remember, they claim, oh, well, they did this to a cop. You notice you don't hear nothing else about that? You don't hear another word. You know why? Because I don't believe they're going to do too much of nothing to those guys. You haven't heard another thing about those migrants that kicked those cops when they were down on the ground. They have gone completely silent about it. The second would require the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, to submit a report to Congress detailing the effects the migrant surge at the border has on agents. So, I mean, look, they were inquiring about Guerrero, who wasn't removed from the country despite the deportation order issued several years ago. So the guy that don't have scars on his face, he was supposed to be deported back in 2017. And this is 2024, and those orders never got activated. They drew up his deportation papers and then never deported him. Now it makes me wonder how often that happens, where they will draw up the papers to deport somebody but never actually do it. I doubt if this is the only time that has happened. I really don't believe that at all. I think that's probably more common than uncommon. I'm just saying, y'all. Lori Stewart, thank you so much for the channel membership. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, well, that's the guy that got the deportation order by ICE, and then ICE never deported him. Guerrero, that's the one I'm talking about. The one with the ears that are sticking out. Yeah, that's him. They 7 years ago, they drew up deportation papers and then never deported him. And I think many of these people that get caught up, doing crimes and they end up in the media, I think that's why they go silent, because they don't deport them at all. Mm-mm. They're just trying to act like they're doing something. Remember, the birth rate is low in the country. They don't want to lose any of these people. They're trying to hang on to them. And that's the truth. They want to hang on to these people. They don't care what low lives they are. They need to hang on to them to keep the numbers up in the country. And this is a terrible plan that they are trying to enact. It really is. It's really a horrible plan. And I don't believe it's going to work. I think at the end of the day, y'all, they're going to end up ultimately committing so much crime, they're going to just let them go. It's going to be difficult to keep them in the country, and and the crimes are getting worse. They're getting more violent. Mhm. Yeah, well, if the country collapse, that's when they will really turn on these people and get them the hell out of here. That's what they will do. They'll suddenly turn on them and not want them here. But I'm just amazed at how they keep looking the other way when these folks are committing all kinds of illegal crimes out on the streets illegally as vendors selling goods that they have stolen out of stores. And it's just amazing of what they get away with in the sake of keeping numbers up in the country. Mhm. Yeah, well, look, they're responsible for what happens. Remember, this happened on Joe Biden's watch. All of these crimes that are happening from migrants, and they're getting more serious, and it's his fault. It's his fault for doing this. Mm, mm, mm. So, y'all, I want to thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your support. And I know many of you have been asking about my hair oil. Um, I will have the hair oil posted back on both Etsy and Walmart tomorrow. All right. I sold out and I had to wait for more labels to come in. So now we can move forward, you know. So tomorrow I will have it posted. Those of you that are interested, I still have the door open for those that want to do PayPal or Cash App. You're welcome to do that as well. But please, if you do PayPal or Cash App, please don't forget to make sure I get your address so that I can get everything out the door for you. I'm trying to get everything out as quickly as possible. So far, my time is within 48 hours of getting your order. Sometimes less than that, I get the orders out. So, y'all, next week I will have the hair growth spray out. Um, Probably, I would say Tuesday or Wednesday next week. I'm going to post it both on Walmart and Etsy. So you should see that. And probably by the end of the month, I will have the hair butter out there as well. So thank you for your support. And boy, y'all gonna have a lot of hair this summer. Y'all gonna have a lot of hair growth this summer because that stuff works. It works. So please enjoy the rest of your evening. Shalom, family.